Alright guys, so right now I have also added like shortcuts to my Blender. So right now you can watch anything I press on my keyboard. You will see it down here. Hit A and X to delete everything. And right now we can rename this collection to bottle. And we will add cylinder. Go over here and change the number of the vertices to 16. Select the cylinder, go to edit mode, G and Z and 1. Now we can go to front view and we can scale the cylinder. You can scale it to the size of the bottle. So it will be something like this. Just by the way, I don't use any reference in the Blender, I just have the bottle in front of me. So that's how I'm modeling it. So you can be modeling it from the render I have made, or you can be just following me how I do this. And right now, what we can do, we can go back to edit mode, hit Ctrl R, add the loop cut, and move the loop cut downwards. And if I hit double G, I can move the loop cut again, and it will stay in the lines. It will follow the edges. So now I will add new loop cut, and I will place it up here, and I will select the top loop cuts and scale them down. Shift Z to scale only on Y and X axis. Select the top loop cut and scale it down, something like that. So now what we can do, we can go to the bottom, go to edit mode again, and select the bottom face and insert new face. And I will insert one more face, and I will extrude it inside. And now I will add one more face. Alright, so we can go to modifiers and we can add subdivision surface modifier, turn up to 3, and remember that the viewport and render always has to be the same, because then your result of the render would not be the same as the viewport. Right now, what we can do, everything looks fine, so I can turn it off again, and I can go to edit mode and select the top face, X and delete the face, select the top loop, and we can extrude it and scale it inside. And I will extrude it one more time and scale it and extrude upwards. And over here I will select this loop and Ctrl B to bevel and insert it downwards. So this is for the modeling of the bottle. I can also add more loops here to have better shape and also to place the texture later. And at the bottom I can turn off the subdivision surface and I can go to vertex mode and select these vertices and hit J, join. Remember, we don't want triangles, so we will just select the vertices and join those vertices which will not make us triangles. So for example, here and here you see we have 4 vertices, which is quad. That's what we want, because it's better performance in renders. So right now we can hide the bottle and we can shift A and create a plane. Go to edit mode, select these 2 vertices and X to delete the vertices. And right now we will go to top view, and in modifiers we will add the screw modifier, and on the Y axis you will add the number to 2 and here also 2. And now we can apply the modifier and we can scale it down because we are now creating the lid. So we need this rotation. You can also call it a lid. And right now what we'll do, we'll add 3 loop cuts over here. Scale it down a bit maybe. And right now what I will have to do, I will have to select these faces. Okay, go to front view and scale the faces. Alright, so it looks like a lid. So right now we have to go back to edit mode and we can go to edge mode and select these edges and extrude them. Now hit S and y-axis and put 0. Do the same thing on the other side. And right now you'll have to add the loop cut here, S and Y and 0. Do the same thing here. And right now we will have to insert face, hit I and then B and scale it. So it fits, when I turn on vertices, we will merge it with these vertices. Three and 9 to look from the other side. And insert one more face and scale it down on the y-axis. Do the same thing on the other side. Right now go to vertices and hit M to match and center. Alright, so now hit A to select everything and go to mesh and clean up and merge by distance. So SY, now we can scale it down, rotate it. And now if you go over here and add subdivision surface, you can see that we have nice smooth lid. So now we can unhide the bottle and move this upwards. And we can select the bottle, so you can hide. Select the bottle, go to edit mode, go to face select, and select these faces. And hit X and delete faces. So now unhide the lid, go to top view, make sure it fits the size. Select both, Ctrl J, actually have the bottle selected, the last. So it joins to the bottle, Ctrl J. And right now what you'll do, you'll go to edit mode, select the bottom edge of the, go to edges, and select the bottom edge of the lid and the edge of the bottle. Go to vertices, and also if you don't have it like me, you can go to edit and preferences, and here in the key map you can select the space action to search. So right now I plus space and I search for bridge, and now it's connected to the bottle. So now we can turn on the modifier, and what we can do, we can add solidify modifier, make sure it's on top, and we'll give it value of 3. Turn off the modifiers, select the top loop and Shift D to duplicate, F to fill, and E to extrude, and insert face, insert one more face, and extrude down, and insert another face. And this bottom face we can delete. Select the top face and Ctrl plus to select only the top lid and separate it by selection. Now go to the top and scale it up. Move it downwards. Select the bottom loop and G and move it downwards. And now we will add 2 loops and scale them on the Z-axis. So they are at the end. And now what we can do, we can turn the subdivision surface modifier and also the solidify modifier. Can do the same thing here and check if it fits. Yeah, looking good. So now we can move on the screws and the handle. So I'll hide it, and I will go to Shift A, Mesh, and Cylinder. And over here I will put vertices 6, tab GZ1, and scale it down on the Z-axis. Go to edit mode, select the top loop, the top face, scale it down, add one more loop, and scale it up. Select everything and scale it down like this. And now select the top face and scale it down and insert it inside like this. Go to vertices and select these 2 vertices and hit J to join. Now Ctrl R and add the loop here. Control and deselect these 4 vertices and hit X and dissolve edges. So dissolve vertices. And go to the edges and select them and hit X and dissolve edges. So now Control R and you could do the same thing here, same thing here. Select these edges, X and dissolve edges. can move this one. If you hit G twice, it will move on the line. Now we will add a new loop here. And another loop here. Deselect these edges. Hit X and dissolve edges. And we need also supportive edges here. That should be it. So now add subdivision surface modifier. And now we have the screw. Actually here we have to dissolve this edge. Actually we can add a loop cut here. And right now select this bottom face, E. Actually I pressed I and now hit E to extrude the face. Add a loop cut. And now we have a nail done. So now turn on the bottle. Go to edit mode so the pivot point stays at the bottom. Select everything and move it upwards. Rotate it 90 degrees. Scale it down. Go back to object mode and duplicate it. And go to object, mirror, and global X. And now it's on both sides. And right now we can make the handle. So I will go to Shift A and add plane, G and Z. Scale it down. And we can add a loop cut in the middle. And delete this face. Select the edge. And now we will make the shape. So extrude it downwards. Like this. I'll go to edit mode and select the face. These three faces. Actually here I will add a loop cut. And now I will select these three faces. And I will hit I to insert faces and B. And X to delete the faces. I will also delete this face. Go to vertex mode and scale it on the x-axis to 0. Select these four edges and press X S and on y-axis scale it. Actually go to vertices and don't forget to select these two vertices as well. And now select only these 4 vertices and scale it more. And now what we can do, we can select also these vertices, G, Z. Now what we can do, we can add a subdivision surface modifier, and before that we'll also add mirror. And turn on clipping, and here if you play with this value it will connect. Apply the modifier, turn on the subdivision surface modifier, turn it up 3 times, add the loop cut, and add the loop cut on the other side as well. And add solidify modifier, move it to the top. Use the value of 7. Now go to edit mode and add 2 loop cuts here and 2 loop cuts here. Also what we can do, we can delete this one screw and go to front view and edit mode and move it more inside like this. And now we can do Shift D and object and mirror it on the other side. So yeah, that's for the modeling part, that's all. Also we can scale this down a bit. There's also one more thing what we should do, or what we have to do, because the bottle is built from 2 parts. One is metal part and the other one is like rough metal, which doesn't have any shininess. So right now I will select this loop and so with Alt and Control B to bevel, and I to insert faces, and E to extrude, and S and Shift Z, so we extrude it inside like this. And now we can also add loops over here. Yep, that's good. And right now we are ready to go to shading and add the materials and textures. So select the bottle and create new material. Make it dark. Go to materials and create new material, and go to edit mode. Select the faces and hit Ctrl plus. And assign the new material, so you can check. It's only for the bottom part. And right now we increase the mechanism and the roughness will decrease, so it's like shiny. And for the other material, what we will do, we will leave it like this. And what we will add? We will add noise texture, color ramp, and bump. This increased to number like 750. And over here, the strength, turn it a bit down so it's not that crazy. Decrease the strength to something like 0.2. And right now, what we will do, hide the lid, go to edit mode, and select the top loop. Actually go to face selection, and hold Ctrl plus and minus to select the part we want. And now assign the metal material. You can turn on the lid, and over here we can select the material. Then we turn on the nails, and we make them metal. And the handle, we also make it metal. Okay, so for the body part of the bottle, we will add the texture, and I will go to the black material. Actually here I have to switch. And right now press this number to make a unique material, and Shift A and add image texture. Plug it to the color, and also add mix RGB. And click on add. Over here at the bottom you can make it darker again. And over here we open the image texture, and it's the text. So right now we'll have to unwrap the bottle to place the text on the top where we want. So I will just right click and UV unwrap and cylinder projection. Now go to UV editing, press 1, and go to material preview, and over here you have to scale it. And yeah, we have the texture there. So okay, so maybe you have been also wondering like how I have to rig my bottle for the animation so I could move like all parts in once. So I will show it to you now. I will create a new collection empties, and Shift A, and I have edit empty and cube, and I have scaled the cube and basically like scale it for the size of the bottle. And what I have done, I have selected everything, and with the cube selected last with the empty, and I did Control P and object. So now I can move with the bottle, and every part is moving. And in the last part of the videos, when I've been moving the lid, I have add another empty, and I have moved it upwards, and I have selected only the lid and the nails and the handle and the empty last, and I have connected the object. Right now, if we want to move also the lid, we will have to select the empty of the lid and select the empty for the whole bottle, Control P and make object. And now we can move everything. Alright, so I also got asked how do I make the scene, how do I make the lighting, and how do I render the final image. So I'm going to show you in this video how I do it usually, or how one way how to do it. So I create a plane to make infinite background and I scale it up. And then what I do, I go to edit mode and I select the edge in the back and extrude it up. Then select the edge again, Ctrl B to bevel. If you scroll the middle mouse button, you can add like more points to the bevel so it's more smooth. And now add shade smooth. And for lighting, I will just use two lights. So I create new collection and I'll call it background. And what I will do, I will add Shift A and I will add arrow light and scale it. And I will also add a point light, which I will use for the background to add a contrast on the sun of point light. Now we can also add camera, so Shift A and camera and hit N, and over here rotation 90 degrees, 0 and 0 degrees. And select the camera, go to camera settings. I like to use 75 millimeters for focal length. Go to camera view, hit G, and now middle mouse button twice, press it, and move it backwards, G and Z. And right now we can tweak the values for the light. I will go to render view, and also down here I will go to shading, and go to world settings, and the value put 0 here, so it's completely dark. And right now select the backlight, put value 1000, and select the front light, which is arrow light, and also put value 1000. Now we can select the background, and in shading we will go to object settings, create new material, and we will select the color blue. For the arrow light, or for the point light, I will change the color to blue and increase the strength. And also the radius to 1. We could add lighting. So right now what we can do, we can go to materials preview and Shift A. Actually, let's create a new collection for this. And Shift A, and we will add a plane, G, and move it to the side. And go to edit mode, vertices, delete these vertices. And now we can draw a shape of lightning. So I will just move it more up and extrude it, and extrude it again, extrude it again, and extrude it again. And this last vertex I will move it the other side, And now we can convert it to the curve. And here in curve settings, we can give it a depth. Now we convert it to the mesh. Go to edit mode and scale it down at the end. So you can scale up. Here, if I select all vertices, I will have to go to individual origins and scale it. Actually not. Scale like this, and now we can go to shading and create new material. Emission turn to 10 and edit the blue light. And now we can go to camera view, place it over here, rotate it, scale it, rotate it 180 degrees, go to top view, and place them around the bottle. You can play with it, scale it. And now we can render. Also select the arrow light and make it slightly blue. So when you have something like this or something you like, you can stop editing it, and now we can go back to cycles. And what I will do, I will adjust the samples, and I will do like 50 because I want to make it quick. And I'm going to hit render image. Alright, the render is finished, so now I can close this. And over here, I can open new window. And I can go to image editor and open the render result. And down here, I can go to compositor and use nodes. And Shift A and add glare. Change this to fog glow. And now you can play with the value. If you decrease the size, you see that the glow is lower. So right now what we can do, we can go to the render settings. So I will do the 350 and I will go to render and render image. Alright, so in the next video I'm going to show you how I created the more complex scene with water and more complex lighting. And the next video will be just about it, creating the scene, the lighting, and also the water effects, the splash. So I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.